Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's lesson. Let's get started with today's lesson objective. So today we will explore how fossils can give us clues about the Earth's history. Excuse me. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our lesson success criteria. So we have two for today. So our first one is I can explain how fossils can be used to interpret past events and environments. And then our second one is I can explain how models can be used to represent the passage of time and past organisms and environments. All right, let's get into our vocabulary. So our first one is a fossil. So fossils are a preserved part or trace of an animal or a plant that lived in the past. So here's an example of a fossil. It's just a preserved part or a trace of an animal or a plant. So it doesn't necessarily be the whole thing. This one is the whole thing, which is pretty lucky. But it's just a preserved part from the past. All right, now let's go ahead and go into, let me clear that. What is an imprint? So an imprint is, let me get my pen, is a mark or depression made by pressure. So it's a little bit different from a fossil, but this is, it could be one of the parts of fossils. So this right here is an imprint because that was like pushed down and makes a depression and it's marked by pressure. Okay, so that is an imprint. And then we have a model. So a model in science is a limited representation of something that can help us understand its structure or how it works. So in science, we see models all the time. This is a model of the Earth. Obviously, we can't look at the whole Earth all at once. So this is a model of what the Earth looks like. So it's just a representation of something that helps us understand something. All right. And then, let's get into our lesson. So one thing that we need to know about fossils is fossils give us a better understanding of the past, right? Now, the thing about fossils is they're actually pretty rare. So fossil formation is rare. Not everything when it dies is going to turn into a fossil. Most of the time when something dies, it's going to get eaten or it's going to get decomposed by decomposers. Fossil formation is pretty rare, and this is caused by layers of sediment or tiny little rocks and pressure. So what happens is before the animal or the plant decomposes, we have sediment and pressure that's pushing things down, and then different minerals are replacing the bones in different parts of the plants and animals, which is causing a fossil. This whole thing is relatively rare, considering that most things aren't being turned into fossils. When we do find a fossil, though, it gives us clues of what the environment looked like in the past. So, for example, if we were to find a fossil on top of a mountain of a fish, that could give us a clue that tells us, okay, in this area in the past, hundreds and thousands and millions of years ago, this could have been a lake. That's why we're finding fish fossils on this mountain. So it'll give us some information about what that environment, what the current environment looked like in the past. Okay, now let's go ahead and look at what our model. So because, it's pretty rare to get a whole fossil intact, right? And to get all the pieces. Usually it's like one or a broken bone here or there, a couple of parts. It's very rare to find a whole animal or plant intact. So what we can do is we can create models to represent the passage of time in past environments. So over here we see some dinosaur fossils, right, over here. And so just from looking at our dinosaurs and things that we know about past environments and just kind of putting these pieces together, we can get some kind of idea about where they lived and what the environment looked like. So if we see over here in the background, scientists have put together what they think could have been the environment based on the clues that we have that these dinosaurs lived in. Okay, all right. Fantastic. So that is everything we have for fossils for today. Let's go over our lesson objective. So our lesson objective for today was that we explored how fossils can give us clues about the Earth's history. All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye.